We're going to talk about why narcissists love chosen ones. Why chosen ones attract narcissists. It's going to be a real good one. It's going to be a real good one. If you're a chosen one, I'm pretty sure you done dealt with the narcissist before. This ain't the first rodeo, you know. And if you're a chosen one right now, you're dealing with somebody who's a narcissist, I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you a lot. So let's get into it. Why narcissists love chosen ones. The first reason is your magnetic light. Again, your magnetic light. If you're a chosen one, you see that you attract everybody. And you wonder why sometimes. And it's that light that divine is giving you. Again, chosen ones, it's that light that divine is giving you that attracts a lot of people. But your light individually, well, let me rephrase this. The reason why your light really attracts narcissists is because narcissists hunt for that light. Again, narcissists hunt for that light. They seek out individuals who have a light that's bright, that can shine. And the thing about it is, narcissists love to be vampires of that light. They love to be vampires of that energy. That's why narcissists love your magnetic light, because that magnetic light shines bright on them. And we all know narcissists are self-centered people. So the more light, the more energy that they have that they can siphon or that they can have on them, guess what? They're going to be attracted to it. They're going to love it. Like I said, regular people, everybody loves light, you know, or everybody can be attracted to light, I should say. But people don't go out seeking and hunting that light. You know, that's not their main prerogative. But a narcissist, yes, that's their main prerogative. They only want to deal with people who have light. They only want to deal with people who have something that can be shown off, you know, and chosen ones, you're somebody who can be shown off. Number two, why chosen ones attract narcissists is your healing energy. Again, your healing energy. Chosen ones have this healing energy about them. And narcissists deep down inside need that healing energy. Deep down inside, a lot of narcissists are hurt. Deep down inside, a lot of narcissists are broken. What's up, Cloud? How you doing? Deep down inside, a lot of narcissists need that repair. They need it. And when they come across a chosen one, they start getting that healing energy that they've always needed, that they've always longed for. What's up, Random? How you doing? But you have to think about it. Narcissists are so egotistical that they can't go out and say that they need help, they need healing, they need, you know, they need that. They can't go out and say that. They have too much ego about them. Remember, they already think that they're perfect. They want people to think that they're perfect. So you can't go out there and say you're broken, you need healing. You know, you can't go out there and say that. So they connect themselves to chosen ones because chosen ones have that healing energy. How many times have you gone out as a chosen one and people tell you their life story? You go out, you know, and people just have a conversation with you and they say, yo, I really felt better after you talked with, you know, you had to talk with them. Or you have friends who call you just to, you know, air out how they feel about their day or whatever the case may be. This is the same thing that narcissists love about you, that healing energy. But they'll never tell you that they love that healing energy from you. They'll never tell you that. Why? Their ego is too big. Their ego is way too big to tell you, hey, I appreciate you healing me, or I really need to be healed. Their ego is too big for that. But that's the reason why narcissists are attracted to chosen ones. It's because that healing energy that you bring about. And it's not even that you're doing it on purpose. It's just who you are. That's just your purpose. That's what how divine has made you. Divine has made you to that, have that healing energy. You know, divine has given you that superpower. Let's call it a superpower, because it is a superpower to be able to heal somebody. It is a superpower. It's just like you're a spiritual doctor. You know, you go to the doctor to get healed, you break something or you cut something or you need some surgery or something. The same way a doctor can heal you is the same way that a chosen one can heal, you know, people out there. And it's not like you performing heart surgery or anything like that. No, it's just by your presence, by your energy, by your conversation, by your prayers. You know, that's what it really is, to be honest. Let's go with the next one. Chosen ones are stable. Chosen ones are stable. They're grounded. And why are you grounded and stable? It's because you're rooted in the divine. You let the divine, bless your steps, create your steps. You let divine do that. You're not out here just willy-nilly. Divine is leading you. And you have to think about this. Narcissists are here, there, everywhere. They're not grounded. They don't have that grounding energy about them. They're not rooted in something deeper than or bigger than themselves. They're rooted in themselves. What's up, Mexi Cat? How you doing? Narcissists are rooted in themselves. They're not rooted in no divine, no God, no higher power, no nothing. But you as a chosen one, you're rooted in something. You have a purpose. You're going somewhere. Whether if you figured it out now, you don't. You know deep down inside you have a purpose. And narcissists are not stable. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know if they're going here, going there. They're always just going where that light is. They're always going where people are attracted to them. They're always going where they can be the center of attention. And if you're not giving them the center of attention, they're leaving. But like I was saying, they're attracted to you because you're stable. You know where you're going. You know you have a purpose. Like I said, whether you know it or not, they know that you have something going about yourself. And that's what narcissists need. Narcissists need that stability in their life because they're unstable. Haven't you noticed that people who are always unstable, always attracted to somebody who's stable? It's because they don't have that. Narcissists lack that. See, narcissists are really attracted to people who have what the narcissist lacks. So narcissists are always attracted to people who have humility. Chosen ones have humility, Narcissists are unstable individuals. That's why they love stability that comes from a chosen one, because you're always going to be stable with them. You're never going to be here, there, up, down. You're always going to be stable, and they need that. They need that comfortability. They need that reassurance. That's why they love a chosen one, because your reassurance and your stability, if that makes sense. They're reassured that, your stability creates reassurance that you're always going to be there. So they think, Another one. This is a 3-part. Chosen ones have this level of forgiveness, compassion, and patience. Again, chosen ones have this level of patience, compassion, and forgiveness. If you're chosen one, you already know that. You already know that you forgive more times than you should. You're compassionate. You have empathy. You can feel what people are going through, and that's why you have sympathy for narcissists, because you're able to break down the layers and you're able to see who they really are past the whole bravado, past the whole ego. You're able to see it. And they're really attracted to that. Like I said, they're not going to tell you. And sometimes unconsciously, they don't even know it. A lot of times, if a narcissist really knew what you knew about them, they wouldn't be attracted. Well, they would still be attracted to you, but they wouldn't kick it with you no more. They wouldn't be with you anymore. That's just the truth of the matter. If narcissists really knew what you knew about them, if they really knew how weak they were, or if they really knew how self-conscious they were, they wouldn't be around. They wouldn't. They would still be attracted, but they wouldn't be around. But anyways, the level of patience that you have for them. You have to understand, narcissists don't have patience for themselves. It's instant gratification. They already have to be there yesterday. You dig what I'm saying? But chosen ones have patience. Why? Because it goes back to what I said. We're stable. And how we're stable? Because we're rooted in the divine. So we're not in a rush to get anywhere. We already know our steps are already planned out. We already know that we're going to be successful. We already know we're going to make it to the promised land. So we have patience for individuals because we know people go through things. We know nobody's perfect. We know we're not perfect. We've already been crucified. We've already been made fun of. We've already been the butt of people jokes. And we've already been, we've already been through the struggles. We already been to the bottom. So we already know things. So we already know nobody's perfect. That's why we're patient with people, because we're patient with ourselves, because we done already messed up. We done already slipped up. We done already done wrong. We done already, bumped our head a million times. That's why we have patience, because we know everything takes time, right? Okay, so we have compassion. Just like I said, we have compassion for ourselves because we done already bumped our heads. And as chosen ones, we are made in the image of light. We are made in the image of God. We are made in the image of divine. And doesn't divine have patience, compassion, and forgiveness for you? See, the things that you give yourself, patience, forgiveness, and compassion, those are the things that you give yourself. So you automatically give them out to everybody else. And sadly, the narcissist does not have that for themselves, so they can't give it out to anybody else. How can you give somebody something that you don't have? How can you give compassion, forgiveness, or, patience to somebody if you don't have that for yourself? And narcissists don't have that for themselves. So like I said, things that people don't have is what they seek out, or especially narcissists, let me put this, especially narcissists, things that they lack and don't have is things that they seek out in others. Now, who don't love somebody who has compassion, somebody who doesn't have compassion, somebody who doesn't have forgiveness, somebody who doesn't have, patience? How can you not like somebody or love somebody like that? How can you not? How can you not? Especially deep down inside when a narcissist is insecure, how can you not? I'm just saying. Another one, validation. You validate, as a chosen one, you validate everybody. You pick out the good things to say about people. You ignore the negatives. You know it, but you don't bring it up because you say deep down inside, what's the point? How is this going to help this person? Or if it's something negative or something that can improve on, you have a way of saying it that doesn't hurt somebody, but it helps build them up, right? You validate people. You tell people, how to improve. You tell people that they're doing good. You give people this boost of energy. And narcissists are amazed by that. Narcissists love that because you have to understand, number one, narcissists love to be the center of attention. And number two, narcissists love validation. They love when people big them up. They're self-centered. So you talking about the wrestler, Gold Dust the wrestler? So what I'm saying is that when you validate somebody who loves validation, it can be a recipe for disaster, or it can be a recipe for something good if they recognize that you're not doing this because you are so deeply in love with them or you are, fanned out by them. No, you're doing this because this is genuinely who you are. You validate people. You validate human beings. Yeah, rest in peace to Gold Dust. That must have been your favorite wrestler. But you validate people as just being a simple human being, Nowadays, in society that we're living in, people are really only thinking about themselves. People don't think about other people. People don't acknowledge other people. People don't care about other people. People don't validate other people at all. People don't validate other human beings at all. And it's not, necessarily, like I said, being fanned out by people. No, it's just acknowledging human beings. And because you're a chosen one, you already have that in you. You already validate people just by respecting their presence, by acknowledging them as a human being. And chosen ones, and narcissists soak this up. Again, narcissists soak all this up. They love that validation. And deep down inside, let me tell you this. Narcissists can't validate themselves. Again, narcissists cannot validate themselves. Deep down inside, narcissists seek for that validation because it's fuel. They go around seeking validation. Number one, they're self-centered. Everything is about them. In order to continue that and boost that up, they seek validation. Why do you think they take so many Instagram pictures, or they're always online, or they're always in the center of conversations, or always trying to be in the center of this group or this group and going here, going there, going wherever the wind blows? It's because they're seeking validation. Because that's the validation that they cannot give themselves. Either because they can't recognize it in themselves, or because they don't truly believe in the image that they're portraying. So, like I said, just being who you are, you validate people, Stoicism, yes, I do. I do believe in stoicism, but to an extent. I believe certain people take stoicism too far. You can't crack a joke, you can't laugh, you can't be cool, you can't be fun. Everybody thinks you just have to be, straight-faced all the time. And I don't believe that. It is good to a certain extent, but also you have to let loose a little bit and enjoy life. And I believe that's more attractive than just stoicism. Stoicism is good in certain situations, but if you're too stoic, then people just gonna not like you. You're gonna be too stiff. And life is not about being stiff. So, like I said, narcissists love validation because they can't give themselves validation at all. They can't give themselves validation. That's why they go to seek it from chosen ones. And lastly, unconditional love. Thank you. unconditional love. And this ties in with validation to an extent. But chosen ones love everybody until you cross them. And deep down inside, we still have unconditional love for those who cross us because we understand it's coming from a different place. A lot of times it's not personal. You know, people have beef that they got going on internally. And sometimes you represent what's going on inside of people. Sometimes you're a mirror, whatever the case may be. But chosen ones have unconditional love for people. You may not like people. You know, I don't like a lot of people, but I have unconditional love for people. It's Cali. It's in California. So, dig this. Narcissists deep down inside don't love themselves. Again, deep down inside, narcissists do not love themselves. It's hard for them to love themselves because, number one, they don't compare to the image that they portray outside. And number two, they haven't been given the tools for them to love themselves. They haven't. Especially if the narcissism was rooted in like childhood trauma. They don't love themselves. Deep down inside, narcissists do not love themselves. They damn near, I want to say, hate themselves. So the unconditional love you give them is almost like a child and its mother, or a child and its father. You know, the same way that a child has unconditional love to from their parents. That's almost the same unconditional love that you give to a narcissist. Whether you know they're a narcissist or not, you know, it's the same thing. Is that you see through their flaws. How do you properly heal or recover narcissist? From a narcissist, how do you properly recover from a narcissist, or how do you recover a narcissist? But that unconditional love that you give out is something that they seek. Like I said, it's something that they don't have and something that they never received. And unconditional love, everybody loves unconditional love. Everybody wishes they had unconditional love. But because you give it out just like that, and you don't hold things against people based off of their past and based off of how society sees them, that's so attracted to a narcissist because deep down inside, they want love. Deep down inside, they want somebody to love them. Deep down inside, they want somebody to cherish them or comfort them, heal them, and all that. How do you properly deal with... You can't heal a narcissist and you can't recover a narcissist. The only thing that only way to do that is a narcissist has to want to do it themselves. They have to come to a pivotal point or some kind of tower moment or some kind of, or catalyst in their life to where it forces them to want to change, forces them to look inside. And that's the issue about a narcissist, is that they can never look inside. Nothing is ever their fault. You know, it's always somebody else's fault. They can never be self-reflective. That's their issue, is they're never self-reflective. So they have to get to a point where they're forced to be self-reflective. They're forced to look into the mirror. And some kind of tragedy has to happen for that to happen. Just them going out willy-nilly, they will never look inside. And that's the biggest issue about narcissism, is that they have to be able to be self-reflective. And it has to come from some kind of loss, or I either say it has to be some kind of loss, some kind of catalyst in their life, in which is somebody reveals the truth to them, and they have to be at like rock bottom, you know? Imagine a narcissist is as rock bottom. Yeah, it's a sad reality, very sad reality. But they have to be at rock bottom to the point where you tell them like, hey, this is the issue, this is why this is, and if you want to change, this is what you have to do. And they have to want to change. They have to want to. They have to want to be able to be self-reflective and look inside and say, okay, these are the things that I need to change. These are the things that I need to fix. These are the things that I need to heal. And for regular people to do that, it's a hard feat. And for somebody who's built a persona about themselves, an ego about themselves, and has based themselves upon that, it's going to be very, very hard for them to be able to look inside and peel back the layers and take off the ego and take off the mask and do all these things and heal. Not saying that it's impossible, but that's what has to happen. Some kind of loss, some kind of tower moment, some kind of catalyst, something like that. Somebody revealing a deep truth to them. Or even this, somebody taking away unconditional love. And that could be, a catalyst that will spark a narcissist to look inside. But they have to want to do it. You can't do it themselves, because you tell them, You tell a narcissist, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, or this, you telling them things about themselves, they're going to find a way to twist it so that heat is not on them. And then this is what they would do. They would discard you. A narcissist will discard you. Once you tell a narcissist that they are a narcissist, once you tell a narcissist what they're doing about themselves or things about themselves, this is what will happen. They will discard you. Because if a narcissist is not ready, if a narcissist has not lost enough, if a narcissist is deep inside of their narcissism, they can never be at fault. They're never wrong. So what will happen is they'll turn everything around on you. And if they have an inkling that they may be a narcissist, or they have an inkling if they're knowing what they're doing, what's up, Gerald? How you doing? If they know what they're doing, if they know that they're an energy vampire and they're seeking these things and this and that, right? If they know that down inside and they're not ready to be caught yet, or they're not ready to change, they'll discard you. Point blank period. They discard you. Once they're not able to siphon that same energy from you, they just do away with you. And that's the thing about narcissists. Once they get all that they can get from you, or they can't receive anything from you anymore, or you're not the same anymore, they just throw you away like a piece of trash. They just ball you up and throw you away until they can, and they'll find some new supply. I know y'all have heard that before, but they'll find new supply, somebody that can fuel them the same way that you fuel them. But being a chosen one, have empathy, not many people are going to be able to match your energy. Not many people are going to be able to give that same love, give that same empathy, give that same healing energy, give that same, magnetic attraction and magnetic light and all these things. Many people are not going to be able to do that. Many people are not going to be able to match you. And that's when the narcissist is stuck in a conundrum. A lot of times that's when they're stuck. It's either do I change or forgive, or do I just seek, having many suitors and many people I can soak their energy from, many orbiters. Can I just have many of these people because the main supply that I had before is gone? I've been caught red-handed. So to me, that's to think about a narcissist. They would have to do it on their own. And a lot of times what would be that catalyst is them losing a chosen one, them losing an individual, and now they have to go through this cycle of not finding their match anymore. And the biggest thing that I want to say is, it ties into unconditional love, is chosen ones are really blessings for a narcissist. Again, chosen ones are a blessing sent from the divine for a narcissist. To really be true. Yeah. A lot of times God will send a narcissist, a chosen one, because deep down inside, that narcissist has either cried on the inside, begged to divine, silently, because they're not going to do it openly, but they've prayed about it, whatever the case may be, that they want somebody in their life who can love them, things of that sort. Or divine has put you in their life in hopes that this narcissist change, because divine, God, whoever, you pray to or think about, has a bigger plan for this narcissist. A lot of times narcissists are very skillful, are very attractive, do have abilities and skills that can help change the world and help heal the world. But they're so caught up in themselves and built this false sense of self that they can't get to the root of who they are and who divine needs them to be in order to heal the world themselves. A lot of times a narcissist, especially if, a lot of times narcissists are the opposite of a chosen one who, or let me put it like this, a lot of times narcissists are chosen ones who have been on the wrong track. Again, a lot of times narcissists are chosen ones who have been put off on the wrong track. Maybe since birth, maybe because of their parents, their childhood, certain traumas, whatever the case may be. A lot of narcissists are. But they haven't done the work. Again, they have not done the work. So therefore, they stay on their narcissistic track. They haven't done the work. And I say that because in my life, certain relationships I've been in, where the females were narcissists, they were very talented. Oh no, this channel is just everything about spirituality, chosen ones, empaths, just deep topics, deep introspective topics, psychology, philosophy, things of that sort. That's what this channel is about, that's all we're talking about on this channel. Nothing that's super into what's going on in the TV and all that. No, we're not talking about that. That's my other channel. But this channel right here is just deep introspective, healing, psychology, philosophy, chosen ones, deep thoughts, all that type of jazz. Third eyes, all that type of jazz. That's what I'm talking about over here. But today's topic is why narcissists are attracted to chosen ones, why chosen ones attract narcissists. That's what we're talking about. So like I said, a lot of times, like I said, in the relationships I've been in, the females have been very talented. Had skill, had ability, pretty, all that. They had the ability to do great works, but because they had certain traumas, but because they have not healed, but because of certain things, they've been so caught up in themselves, they weren't able to do that. And I see distinctly how I could have been a blessing to help heal them, for them to change in order for them to heal the world, bless the world themselves with their gifts, skills, abilities, and talents. So I say that for a lot of narcissists, because of my own experience, that divine has put chosen ones in their lives in order to help them overcome this virus that they have, in order for them to help heal the world as well. But a lot of times they're so caught up that they don't do it, they don't do the work, and then boom, you know, they lose the chosen one, they lose the blessing. And what happens after that? It's just a downward spiral until they become, like we said earlier, become self-reflective and say, damn, I lost something good. I need to change my ways. I need to change this. I need to change that. Narcissists are energy drainers. Yeah, very much energy drainers. They don't reciprocate. They can't reciprocate. They don't know how to reciprocate. They, like I said, you give them love, they can't give you love. You give them energy, they can't give you energy, because they can't give you things that they don't have. Everything is built off a false foundation with them. So they can't give you things that they don't have. But they love to take it. They love to receive it. But in order for them to give it back to you, they have to know how. And a lot of times they don't have the know-how, and they don't want to. So that's why a lot of narcissists are energy drainers. They're big time energy vampires, big time. And this goes for covert narcissist and it's covert and I forgot the other term, but narcissists who are on Front Street and covert narcissists. It goes for the same thing. And it's really worse for covert narcissists, because covert narcissists become narcissists due to childhood traumas. A lot of times due to childhood traumas. And they're seeking that energy like a baby seeks their mother, but they don't know that they're seeking their energy. They don't know that they're hurt. They don't know that they're doing these things. Unconsciously, they're doing these things. They're doing the energy draining. They're doing the seeking. They're doing the reaching for help, reaching for healing energy. They're doing all these things, but they don't recognize it. They don't realize it. And what happens is they do it more and more and more and more and more, and they can't reciprocate the energy back to you. And what happens as a chosen one, as an empath or any individual, they get tired. We get tired. And to a point where you can't do it anymore. Covert and just stone cold types. Yeah. The stone cold is like the big bravado, big machismo, you know, big ego. That's the stone cold I would get. And then the covert are the ones who have been just childhood trauma, you know, little things here and there that they have to focus on themselves to protect themselves. I've dealt with both. But deep down inside, I would say a covert narcissist is worse than the upfront narcissist or stone cold narcissist. Or I would say the covert is worse. Not necessarily in the narcissism or in the abuse, but because, number one, it's hard to recognize until you see it. And when you see it, it's almost too late. And deep down inside, if you're an empathetic person, you feel for these people. You know, you can feel the pain. You feel what they've gone through. And you feel that they're not bad individuals. They're just stuck in a bad position. A lot of covert narcissists people don't hurt people. You know, they just seek that energy, and it comes in a protective sense. You know, they protect themselves. They think about protecting themselves more so than them being self-centered. They have a lot of narcissistic traits where it's preserving themselves because they've been hurt. They've been abused, neglected. So in order for them not to be abused, neglected, and things of that sort, they become covert in the ways that they behave to ensure their safety and to ensure their survival, more so than just being the center of attention. Hey, look at me. So that's why I say covert is more so harder to deal with, or harder to heal from or deal with, because you can have that empathy and see that they're a good person. You see where they got messed up, or their childhood and all that. So that empathy the line of empathy that you have for them is what makes it so harsh. But sometimes you have to choose you. Sometimes you have to cut them off and let them learn and let them heal themselves. Sad thing. But don't we all have childhood trauma events or speak for oneself? Um, Not everybody has childhood trauma. Not everybody. No, not everybody. And it's some people who do have childhood trauma but don't turn narcissists because they heal from them. You know, a lot of people recognize that it wasn't their fault. A lot of people were born with empathy, born with sympathy, and they weren't diverged off that track of not having it or not recognizing it. So no, not necessarily. We don't always have childhood traumas. We have certain things that may affect us in childhood, but is it a level of traumatic or traumatic events to where it leads you to be a narcissist and things of that sort? You know, so what questions we got? No, we don't all have childhood trauma. Some people have good childhood trauma, good childhoods and things of that sort, you know. I do appreciate the dialogue and the back and forth, though. I do appreciate it. But yeah, unconditional love, that's the final part. That's why narcissists love chosen ones, because deep down inside, we have unconditional love for them. We don't hold hate or grudges towards them. You know, you may not really like them, or after the event happened or whatever happens, the big final meltdown with the narcissist, you know, you may not have favor for them, but deep down inside, you still have unconditional love for them because you know what people go through, you know. It's almost like a virus on a computer, you know. It's not the computer's fault, it's the virus. So that's the same way I see narcissists, is that yes, they are narcissists, but it's not really the person, it's the virus that this person has in them. And sometimes the virus can take over and it can completely ruin the person, just like it can completely ruin a computer, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not the computer, it's the virus that did it. So deep down, sometimes it's not the person, it's the virus, it's the narcissism. There's no more questions. I'm probably going to get off. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all want more narcissistic videos and all that, just let me know. Just let me know. Like I said, I have first-hand experience with it, with dealing with covert narcissists, upfront narcissists. I've dealt with them all. In a romantic sense, friendships, parents, all that. All that. So I got a soft spot for narcissists, in a sense. I do. Some of them are fucked up individuals, don't get me wrong. Some of them are, but you know, they're just people like everybody else. And sometimes they need healing, and sometimes they can't receive that healing because they can't be introspective. They can't say that, okay, this is my fault, this. So, you know, it's a sad situation, but that's on them. At times, that's on them. Any more questions? I'm gonna give it about 30 more seconds. Then I'm gonna get off. All right. Anyways, it's Third Eye Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching on this Saturday morning. And if you're watching this on a replay, whenever you're watching this, I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. I really, really do. Stay tuned. We're going to have more conversations, more topics, more anything. Okay. Does older women always have less milers than younger women? Do older women always have less milers than younger women? Do older women have less? Question, do older women always have less milers than younger women? It depends. Some older women have more mileage. Some older women have, you know, some older women have more mileage. Some older women have less mileage. It depends on how they were raised and their environment and certain influences, you know. A lot of younger people nowadays have more sexual influences, which will cause them to have more mileage. And certain people from older generations were raised differently for them to preserve themselves more than give themselves out. So they could have less mileage. But, just because they're older doesn't mean that they have less mileage or more mileage. And just because certain people are younger doesn't mean that they have more mileage or less mileage. I believe it's just all about influences, environments, and how people were raised and things of that sort. Good question, though. But mileage is not I can't really be honest with you. I have topics that I have written down. It's just whenever I feel influenced to do the videos I do them, but I should be consistent. So maybe at the same time tomorrow morning, some like 7:45, 8 o'clock California time, which is like what, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 10:45 Eastern time, 10:45 in the morning Eastern time, or I may get on in the middle of the night, like 11 o'clock California time, which would be like 1 o'clock, and just get the rambling about something, deep topics or something like that, so it just all depends. Subscribe and click that notification bell, and then I hop on live, you'll know it. But I'm trying to be consistent, especially on the weekends, 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning, catch the early birds. People can catch it on the replay during the day. And maybe in the middle of the night, maybe 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, California, which would be like 12 o'clock Eastern time, just to have a deep conversation, or just put the phone on the tripod thing right here, and just let my mind go and just start talking about topics and just ramble on and on and on. And those might be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And I might just be talking to myself, but, just had a camera on, just talking to myself about something. So just catch a vibe and just start talking. Any more questions? I give it about another 40 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Like I say, I don't think we should hate. Oh, no problem, Simon. I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate the correspondence, and I appreciate the conversation we had, most definitely. Any way I could help, just let me know, most definitely. Any way I could help. I appreciate being a help. I appreciate you for watching. That's why I firmly believe the things that I've been through, either dealing with narcissists, dealing with life, and all these things, wasn't to go in vain. It was to speak about my situation and to help others who's going through the situation or been through the situation, things of that sort. So, all blessings go to the divine. All blessings go to the Most High, but I greatly do appreciate it. Most definitely. And that's, since my email is in the description and all that, if you want a one-on-one conversation, or you have any questions or coaching or anything of that sort, or you just want to conversate, correspond through email and things of that sort, it's all in the description. Again, I greatly do appreciate everybody for watching. When I hop back on, it'll probably be tomorrow this same time, or it might be tonight with some third eye topic about cosmos or something like that. Anything of that situation. But yeah, again, it's Third Eye Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all be safe out there, all right? Love and blessings.